I think, well, I don't know, because she's on our team, and it's not hypocritical to extend a little bit more grace to the people who are your allies.
And then I've been incredibly disturbed as well to see so many people who wage the groomer panic about the LGBT community. And look, I host a whole show criticizing the LGBT community, but some of them take it too far and are constantly talking about sexual deviance and threats to kids and everything. So many of those same people are now adamantly defending Lauren Boebert. And it just really upsets me. So I want to roll this clip of friend of the show, Michael Knowles, over at the Daily Wire, defending Lauren Boebert and he's the trad Catholic who wants to take us back to the medieval ages in his social values. He's now defending his friend, Lauren Boebert, for public sexual fondling in public in a venue that had several children. So let's listen to him, see what he has to say, and how he twists himself into knots.
Story that I'll touch on very briefly because it would appear to be one of the top stories in the news. My friend Lauren Boebert has gotten in a bit of hot water because there was a hidden camera in a dark theater catching her getting frisky or something. Lauren has since apologized, and she said, yeah, going through stuff in my life, and I fell into this temptation of bad behaviors, and anyway, I'm sorry. It's really embarrassing and really sad. Good enough for me. Good enough. Some people were saying, how could anyone accept Lauren Boebert's apology? I think, well, I don't know, because she's on our team, and it's not hypocritical to extend a little bit more grace to the people who are your allies. That's called politics, first of all. And it's a good thing to do when your side is promoting good things and the other side is promoting very bad things. I think if someone generally, if people apologize, it's good to accept the apology. But certainly if it's someone on your team, I think that's fine. And two, I think she is legitimately embarrassed by it. And we've all done embarrassing things. And we've all done a lot of embarrassing things when we thought we were sitting in the dark. And then when there are security cameras that can see in the dark, that can be even more embarrassing. And also the third reason, and I think the strongest reason for accepting an apology like this, is Lauren is saying, look, I did something bad. I fell short of my standards, and I'm ashamed of it. And I regret falling into the temptation of bad behavior for doing things that the liberals exalt as positive goods. Anything you can accuse Lauren of doing, the liberals say is good, it's empowering, it's wonderful, it's expressive, it's virtuous. And so when they attack her for it, it's obviously disingenuous, because the only crime, according to the libs now, is hypocrisy, by which they don't even really mean hypocrisy. They mean having standards and failing them, which is called sinning, which is called being human. So the only people who really would have any standing to attack Lauren for this are conservatives. And had she not apologized, I would totally get it. But she apologized. I think she's embarrassed, and I think it's fair enough to move on.
I have many thoughts on this. First, though, I want to know what Michael's been doing in the dark, in dark theaters, because I heard that and I was like, nope, cannot relate, relate.
Pause. I can relate, actually. One, I also had that reaction. I was like, say more, Michael. What have you been doing? But I got in trouble at church camp one time because I was caught in a theater making out with a boy, and I went to like Fundy church camp where they literally on the bus would be like, girls are pink and boys are blue, and there's no purple allowed at church camp. And I was making purple with a boy in the movie theater at church camp when I was 13, and I got drug out of there by my youth pastor and then yelled at by my youth pastor for being a hussy in front of the entire cafeteria, and I never went to church camp again.
Well, so look, I'm not saying that no one's done this. I guess, as a gay person, you're just grown up extremely PDA averse for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I've never even really dreamed of that kind of thing. I wouldn't, but I know people do stuff like that. I'm not saying that, but it's like, he seems a little too nonchalant about it. Like, it's not really normal to stroke your partner's genitals in public. That's not normal.
I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then he basically just admits that they're hypocrites. He's like, yeah, it's fine to have different standards when they're on our team. He uses the words on our team. And I'm like, do you really have no principles? You have no integrity whatsoever? You're openly admitting to having double standards for what you think is ethical and right for blue people versus red people. Those aren't ethical standards at all then. An ethical standard has to be neutral.
For straight people versus LGBT people, really. That's
yeah.
what it comes down to. Because honestly, like, I mean, I know most of the hacks of the Daily Wire don't have any principles and do whatever they want, you know, to get clicks, and they just throw red meat. And like, I get that. And a lot of people on the right are that way these days, where they don't have any standards or real morals or really principles that they will stand up for. And it's very much if you're in our team, we will do everything to protect and defend you. And if you're not in our team, we're going to come at you with everything we have. So this isn't new, but to see somebody just openly admit that, right? To have absolutely no narrative that he's telling himself to justify that. It's just on its face. She's on our team. We protect our allies. We have different standards for people who are on our team. Like, I would be so ashamed to admit that on camera if that was my low grade, value of way of thinking. But I guess he's open with it. And I mean, yeah, at least he's up front, because it's
you're just admitting that you are a tribalist partisan automaton that does not have consistent integrity and standards. You are admitting it. And I guess I do appreciate the honesty. But I also say on the merits a little bit, I disagree with him about, well, she apologized. I also agree generally that apologies should be accepted in the realm of cancel culture and most things. But she only apologized after denying and gaslighting her behavior, and then video was exposed. So then I'm a little less sympathetic. If she had apologized right away, that would be one thing. And then two, would he say that about an LGBT person who did something he found inappropriate in public? Would he say, well, they apologized, so it's totally fine, move on? No, he would not. And that bothers me.
In fact, what he said, he quote tweeted an article about Lauren Boebert potentially facing sex crime charges under Colorado's lewdness law. And he said, if Colorado is suddenly interested in cracking down on public lewdness, DAs in Republican counties ought to arrest and prosecute drag queen story hour performers and pride parade attendees. So no, he wouldn't say that. And that's why, like, it's just so openly bigoted, honestly, that I don't have any respect for it whatsoever. And this is why there's like people kind of grave dancing with Lauren Boebert right now, because of this attitude, because you are somebody who is so cruel, who is such a hack, who is somebody who is constantly trying to make other people's lives worse, who wants to force your way, quote, quote, of living on other people. And then it turns out you're not even living that way. And that's why she's not getting a lot of grace from most people. And I get that, right? Like, I try to have nuance when I look at things, even when I dislike people. I mean, just for my own humanity's sake, I try to find empathy for people and to understand the reasons why they do things or might be struggling. And I think that's an important exercise to participate in, especially if you're somebody who's very political and very online, because it's really easy to start slipping. And if you do start slipping, you end up being somebody like Michael Knowles, where you really don't have any kind of morals or principles. And instead, you just have this tribalistic mentality where anything goes as long as you feel like these people are on your team, whatever that means. And where you have absolutely no grace for anybody who is not on your team. So I think we all need to take them as cautionary tales. Don't end up like Lauren Boebert and Michael Knowles.